Go blue. I love Go Blue. Yes. So, oh, we are on the wrong slide. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Today, for next 30 minutes, I'll touch upon this topic which I get asked by our customers all the time. On what do we have available today, and how should I rationalize this whole tech hype going around, and we always had hype in the industrial world. So it's great to be here at Automate, especially because I know here I have an audience interested in creating and deploying technology and making a difference to our industry. We are gathered at a time when robotics and AI are making headlines almost daily. If you go by what's trending, you might think humanoids are about to walk onto our factory floor and warehouses today. Several of those videos, I feel like I should be buying those humanoids right away. The truth is a little more complex, and that is what I'll touch upon today. So I want to talk about something very specific and very timely, the difference between what sounds transformative and what actually scales in industrial settings. We are living in an age where science fiction headlines can distract all of us from industrial priorities. We risk waiting for new approaches while ignoring real solutions, which several of us here in the rooms, we develop every day. If you are leading operations, investing in automation, or building factories that need to run next quarter, you don't have the luxury of chasing science fiction. You need solutions that work now, which solves our real problems and which delivers on ROI now. And let me briefly share why this topic matters to me personally. I have been in the industrial world for the last 25 years, as Jeff was sharing. I started my first job out of school right here in Detroit with General Motors. This was way back in 1999. And then I was with GE in several different businesses for 10 years, and then with Honeywell for 7 years before taking over making this jump in the advanced robotics space. And I can tell you, there are a lot of problems ready to be solved for which we as an industry, we need to work together, the whole ecosystem, to solve those problems. And now at Teradyne Robotics, we bring together universal robots and mobile industrial robots, which several of you would know. We are at the front seat with several of you to solve these real problems. So what we need is scalable, AI-enabled, AI-integrated where possible, redeployable robotics that can solve our labor challenges, our ergonomic challenges, and other challenges which we have in the factories and warehouses today. So let's get started. So why we can't afford to wait. Now, before we talk about what's possible or get into the difference between what scales and what does not, I want to ground us in why this conversation matters so much right now. Because while we are having big conversations about AI, robotics, future of work, industry leaders are facing a set of urgent and compounding pressures. Labor shortages aren't just headlines. They are structural, and they are getting worse. Let me show you what I mean. Let's start with the macro view. And here on the chart, you can see this data from UN shows what many of you already know. And those running factories, you are feeling the pressure of. The working age population in developed economies is in steep decline. And what we are not just talking about, this is not just a long-term demographic shift. This is happening now. several major economies around the world, including right here in US. In many regions, we have hit the inflection point with a particularly steep decline in the working age population over the next 10 years. What does this mean? It means fewer hands to keep factories running, our economies running, and even fewer who want to do the kind of repetitive, physically demanding work that industrial systems still rely on today. I get involved in this, how do we bring manufacturing back to US? To bring the manufacturing back, number one thing we need is to bring the workers back. And we may not have the kind of factories the new generation will be feeling comfortable picking versus working in, I don't know where they want to work, Starbucks, barista. So we have to make our factories aligned with the expectation of this new generation. So while the global economy continues to grow and consumer expectations rise, we are headed towards a widening gap between the work that needs doing and the workforce available to do it. So now let me bring this closer to home. This is US Chamber of Commerce data. 1 in 5 jobs in durable goods and manufacturing is currently unfulfilled. There's 20% vacancy rate in one of the most foundational industrial sectors of the economy. So in total, we are looking at over 622,000 jobs, as you can see here, open manufacturing roles that are pivotal to reshoring efforts. So this is even before we have started working on our reshoring. This is the situation today. And there's strong momentum across government and industry to rebuild America's manufacturing base. It's not a partisan issue. It's a national imperative. And while here in Michigan this week, I'm meeting all kinds of people who are working on delivering on this national imperative. This new investments in semiconductors, energy infrastructure, and advanced manufacturing are accelerating. But the labor to support this shift simply isn't there. You'd add to that the rising demand for customized, short-cycle production, which requires flexibility, not just scale. And the challenge becomes clear. We need automation solutions that can step in immediately and intelligently, because a lot of the kind of work which our workers and us we were doing needs different level of cognitive ability and flexibility. So it's not a theoretical conversation. We need it now. Whether you are leading a plant, managing a supply chain, or setting national policy, the future of manufacturing depends on scalable solutions, which works today. So faced with this urgent labor shortage, let me jump on something which we as an industry, we are looking at quickly. The idea of a robot that walks, gestures, which operates like a human being, has fascinated engineers, sci-fi writers, and futurists for decades. We have watched those movies with these humanoids for a long, long time. Today, what's different is that we are starting to see early prototypes moving beyond concept labs. Thanks to these very rapid advances in AI, battery efficiency, lightweight components, and real-time computing, we feel that there is a new era which is shaping right in front of our eyes. If we look at Goldman Sachs' projection, they are saying the humanoid market could hit $38 billion by 2035. That's a conservative estimate, as per them. Morgan Stanley goes further, estimating that by 2050, 63 million humanoid robots could be deployed globally, impacting 75% of all job categories and 40% of all kind of workforce we have today. And you have application all across, from agriculture, construction, elder care, which we need, where aging populations will need robotic support, hazardous environments like disaster response, and yes, eventually, even manufacturing and logistics. The excitement is real, and not without merit, but we are in many ways standing at the precipice of a technological revolution. As one recent analyst put it, one that could reshape not just the way we work, but how we define the role of humans in society altogether. And we should be clear-eyed about that potential. This is a space that will continue to grow. It will spark new industries, new debates, and likely new regulations too. Now, for all the excitement around humanoids, we need to ground the conversation in where we actually are today. Because right now, humanoids are exciting science experiments, not industrial strategies. Most are in early stage development. Pilot trials have started for manufacturing and warehouse and logistics environments. For example, you must have seen Figure AI is being piloted in manufacturing environments, and BMW, and also with BMW. Right here in, I think we have Agility. I had seen Melanie. Agility Robotics, they are doing things with Schaeffler, I know, Boston Dynamics with Hyundai Motor Group. So we have some engagements with real companies trying to solve real problems, so which is a great position to be in. Other projects show potential, but remain far from being a scaled industrial deployment. And we do expect this to show up in rest of the economy very soon. These are important steps in advanced robotics development, but they are early ones. And here's the core principle we have to hold on to as industrial leaders. We don't start with just with what is possible. We start with what is needed. From what form must follow function, not the other way around. So if you look at what we have today, in practice, today's humanoids offer 1 to 3 hours of battery life during operation. That's far below what's required for ship-level reliability. Payloads, generally, they top around 20 kgs for the best ones out there, which is well under the requirements for many logistics or production tasks. And the cost and complexity of replicating human form introduces fragility, unnecessary joints, and reduced energy efficiency, all while adding minimal value for our industrial workflows. Also remember, humanoids require active control to maintain stability and are potentially unstable, just as we human beings are. All in all, the inflection point is still a long way off for this technology, which we are surely excited about. So I think the projection from Deutsche Bank says a lot. It shows an enormous potential market for humanoids, but with adoption picking up as production costs fall around 2050. Between now and then, the industry needs to develop new standards and guidelines for this new technology to support safe use across a wide range of working environments, allowing manufacturing and other industry to innovate faster and more effectively. From my perspective, and I say this with respect for the engineering ambition behind these platforms, I don't see humanoids playing a significant role in industrial environments anytime soon. The form factor simply doesn't fit the process. It introduces complexity and cost, reduces uptime, and fails to deliver the precision or specialization that task-specific robotics can already achieve today, far more efficiently and reliably. In fact, there is another important point here. For most manufacturers, the basic setup and infrastructure is simply not ready for humanoids walking around the factory. That said, there are absolutely compelling opportunities for humanoids in elder care, home care, hospitality, security, and even defense. But for manufacturing and logistics, the fit just isn't there. Not yet. We need to start instead by looking at what industry actually needs, and that is what I'll jump to now. So now that we have created ambition, like separated ambition from application, let's talk about what industry actually needs. Not tomorrow, not next decade, but now. We talk to manufacturers every day across sectors and regions, and the feedback I receive from them is remarkably consistent. There are 5 things which they look for. Number 1 is safety and reliability, non-negotiable. This is the baseline. If a system isn't safe to operate and reliable under real-world condition, it won't get deployed, no matter how advanced it looks. We are a conservative bunch in the manufacturing world. Number 2, real measurable results, not demos. Manufacturers are looking for gains in quality, productivity, accuracy, and profitability. In fact, in our 2024 Universal Robots survey, which you see here, those were the 4 most cited drivers manufacturers listed for technology implementation. Number 3, better workplaces. This is one of the most overlooked points. Manufacturers don't just want automation to cut costs. They want it to eliminate unsafe, repetitive, or unattractive tasks that today's workforce won't take on. We have a labor shortage, and whatever workforce we have left out there, they will not do the kind of job we have made our workforce do in the past. They are choosy. Number 4 is seamless integration. Now, automation needs to slot into existing workflows, tools, and infrastructure. If it doesn't work with what's already in place, it's not going to scale. And we are looking for scalable solutions here. And number 5 is this fast, flexible deployment, not 5-month integration cycle, not a battalion of custom programmers. We need complete, adaptable solutions that are easy to deploy and reprogram, ideally by the operators we have on the floor already today. So industry needs automation that supports agile, efficient manufacturing that delivers on economies of scale. Many large manufacturers are now realizing they need to operate with the same agility as small businesses. This whole large manufacturers, they already had these industrial robots from the past which could handle that large volume. We never had the right technology for our small and medium manufacturers. And now the problem which we have in the large manufacturers is the same. You have very high variability. You have high volume, but no economies of scale. And so because of these days of long static production runs, they are behind us. Manufacturers can spend months or years planning the perfect automation approach. But by the time they implement it, their situations will be substantially different. You need more agile redeployment. So this is where advanced robotics is. We are now no more addressing just the need of a high mix in a small, medium enterprise. We are addressing the high mix situations, even unstructured environment situation in small and larger customers. All of us are in the same boat from the need from automation point of view now. So let's be clear about something. A humanoid isn't inherently more useful. It's just more familiar. It looks like us. The human body evolved not to work in a factory. We evolved to meet a vast array of survival and social needs. We were, as you look through the human history, the way we are working in our factories and warehouse today, that is not how we ever operated in last 100,000 years of our evolution. So when we think about automating industrial environments, we need to start not with form, but with function. Take payload, for example. Many of the humanoids in development today, as I shared, top out at around 20 kgs. Well below the requirements of many logistical and manufacturing tasks. especially in sectors like heavy machinery, packaging, or palletizing. In real-world manufacturing, what we actually need is precision, repeatability, varying payload capacity, integration with conveyors, inventory systems, and production flow. So what does that tell us? It tells us we are going to need a range of automation solutions tailored to the environment. Large traditional robots, which we have here for last 50 years, for force in, did I change something? Okay. So this is more precision robots for flexible deployment. Okay, I must have pressed something there. We need mobile robots for dynamic material movement, and maybe eventually some humanoids where terrain or setup complexity warrants it. So as long as, in today's factories, as long as you have a floor and an elevator, you will be better off with wheels. That feet, however much we feel intrigued about it, it's unnecessary for most of those industrial environment, as long as you have a floor. So in many cases, it just makes things more inefficient. So okay. So let's start with autonomous mobile. Let's start with cobots. These are, you saw the cobots in the example with Ocado in the slide before. These are systems designed to work safely right alongside people, handling high precision, repetitive tasks with accuracy and consistency. And we as human beings, we have been doing a lot of those tasks in a cell in a very precise way. And cobots fit there really well. Like humanoids, they don't mimic human form, but they often outperform in industrial settings. They handle higher payload, longer reach, great stability, and a far simpler path to deployment. No complexity added, just the right tool for the job. Then there are AMRs, mobile robots equipped with AI-powered navigation. These are built for dynamic, unstructured environments. They navigate in real time, avoid obstacles, and move material across factories and warehouses autonomously. These two technologies are already being combined and or now have mobile cobots operating in real environments, not as prototypes, not in test labs, but as part of live, scaled operations. This is mature, proven technology scaled across industries. Yes, it is new. It's not 50 years old like industrial robots, but all these technologies, they have been perfected over the last 10 years to give us scalable solutions in electronics to logistics and all different end markets. A lot of excitement around humanoids today centers on their ability to learn, see, and adapt. But here is the important truth. Those same AI capabilities are already powering advanced robotics platforms today, and we use them to solve problems in automation in today's factories. We call this physical AI, and it's what happens when artificial intelligence moves beyond just analysis and prediction into physical execution. So let me give you some example. At Universal Robots, AI-enhanced systems are enabling robots to identify and sort components with high variability, adjust and adopt a flexible work environment with dynamic path planning, learn from feedback to improve over time. This isn't static programming, it's adaptive behavior, built for the unpredictable environments of modern manufacturing. Now, over at the mobile industrial robots, AI is doing something similar in motion, optimizing routes dynamically in response to changing obstacles, avoiding traffic jams in tight logistics environments, managing fleet traffic, charging schedules. All those AI algorithms which we get excited about of all the things which you can do with a humanoid, it's an algorithm. You don't need a human form factor to run those algorithms. You can run those algorithms in an existing advanced robotics platform. There's one lesson we have learned across industry, which is like as we pull together this solution, we are realizing that no one company can solve complex industrial challenges alone. And that is why when I walk across the Automate show here, we see more than 50 solutions on universal robots. It's because we believe in creating that platform with which people, companies of all sizes, they will be able to create innovative solutions to solve real customer problems. And further you go up in automation across applications, sectors, and factory configurations, this ecosystem and the platform things becomes more obvious. We, as Universal Robots and MIR, we believe in this open platform because we think that unlocks speed of deployment, depth of specialization, integration with other technologies. Again, no one company will be able to pull together all these different technologies to solve the overall customer problem. I wanted to highlight one of the solutions from Robotic, one of our ecosystem partners. They have this PE20 palletizing solution showcased at our booth. It's one of the purpose-built applications, which is more than just a cobot arm. It's an engineered system that handles up to 18 kgs payload at 12 cycles per minute, uses smart pattern generation and vision guidance. It fits seamlessly into existing end-of-line configuration, and while being reprogrammable and modular, no custom code required. This is how you deploy real solution, leveraging technologies from different players into solving a customer problem. There are, as you walk through the Automate show, you will see several ready-to-deploy, very scalable solutions developed by innovators like each one of you, which can solve our problems today. So as we look just a few years ahead, one thing is clear. The pace of change is only going to accelerate. We will continue to see pressure on labor, productivity, and supply chain resiliency, combined with a move towards reshoring and strengthening manufacturing. Automation won't be optional. It will be foundational. I also believe AI will show up in everything, from scheduling and energy optimization to predictive maintenance and dynamic workflow coordination. Physical AI will move from advanced to expected. And we are going to see more human-centric tech deployment. We'll see a surge in intuitive, safe, and flexible systems designed to empower, not replace, the workforce. We'll see an increase in mobile manipulation, as you can see on the right-hand side here. We are already seeing mobile cobots combining AMRs and cobots, creating flexible, space-efficient automation setups. This will redefine how we think about footprint, task mobility, and deployment speed. Our MC600 mobile manipulator just won an innovation award. And this was another solution where if you look at a solution like this, there are multiple companies, not just UR and MIR. There are whole slew of companies worked on creating an innovative product like this. And we think this is how you bring in new products to solve customers' today's problem. So what should industry do now? We have talked about the hype, the real need, and the technology that's already delivering results. So the obvious question is, what should you do now? Whether you are a plant leader, a CTO, or a business executive, you should, let me repeat one of the key messages here. Don't try to build around the robot. Build around the problem. Then it is helpful to know that the most successful automation strategies we are seeing across the market today share a few common traits. Start with the function, not form. They don't chase general-purpose robots. They start with the application and engineer backwards. Using the right tools for the job. They harness tried and tested, but up-to-date technology. Too many companies are stuck using technology that does not reflect today's industrial needs, which brings us to a critical point. While we debate the merits of humanoid robots, many manufacturers are still stuck in Industry 3.0, including some of the companies I came from. Change is difficult, relying on outdated, rigid technologies that can't adapt to high-mix, fast-cycle production. Meanwhile, in the most automated manufacturing hubs, you will see several of those in China today, around 70% of manufacturing tasks are already handled by existing machines. Not humanoids, not prototypes, just mature, functional, well-integrated automation. Number 3, they embrace open ecosystems. Companies are prioritizing platforms where partners, integrators, and internal teams can all co-create. This is a world where, again, no one company, however big you are, no one company will be able to create the whole tech stack. You need to develop your ecosystem and work collaboratively. They invest in flexibility as a strategic asset, because what you need today won't be what you need next quarter. Automation isn't a capital project anymore. It's a capability, one that must evolve as fast as your business does. If you go with the traditional way in which we had done automation, I used to do several of that automation in the past, you will be stuck with a technology which will have very high redeployment cost. You don't need to be going that inflexible way anymore. We have technologies which can be redeployed at a much better ROI now. So they invest in flexibility as a strategic asset, because what you need today won't be there tomorrow. They build automation literacy into their teams. This isn't about replacing workers. It's about equipping them. We are seeing companies upskilling frontline operators to work with collaborative systems, giving them tools that extend their capacity and reduce physical strain. When you look at how, this is just an overview on how we see the technology being built, the tech stack and your core business model. You start with a hardware which is not custom designed application by application. You start with something which is more standard, configurable, which anyone can own it and make it their own. You have an open platform, both for hardware and for software, open API concept, which enables your ecosystem to take that hardware and software and create the kind of solutions which, again, no one company will be able to bring in. Those more than 50 solutions I'm talking about all over automate floor, those were not solutions developed by Universal Robots or Mobile Industrial Robots. They were developed by innovators solving real customer problems. That ecosystem which you see there on the top, it's the most critical driver of the kind of transformation which we need in the industrial world today. And we as Teradyne Robotics and UR and MIR, we will keep bringing in those partners which you see on the top, whether it is NVIDIA engineers to bring in the latest AI-driven solutions in our hardware, in our software stack, in our ecosystem, working with Siemens to bring in newer technologies and newer ways to solve age-old problem which Siemens knows for last 100 years. With Matthews, we just announced a collaboration with Honeywell last Thursday. Analog devices in the semiconductor space. We'll keep looking for which are those other players we need to work collaboratively with to bring in those scalable solutions which this industry needs today. So with that, I'll end here. Our focus is to deliver the tools. I'm looking for each one of you to participate in this revolution to solve real problems for our customers. We need it today. Thank you. I'll go that way.